I don't care how bad your footage is, if you sound design it properly, you can make it look really cool and really cinematic. And to prove it, I went out and shot some of the dumbest half-baked vignettes I could think of with these little rubber ducks. And I'm gonna give you my 5 favorite sound design techniques that will make even this dumb footage look really cool and cinematic. Let's jump into it. So I've made 4 little scenes in this timeline with 4 different ducks. Let's look at the first one with no sound design whatsoever. That's it. Pretty lame, huh? 3 shots of a duck in a sink. But the first technique I'm gonna show you, it's gonna add so much mood and vibe to this thing, you won't even believe it. And that is layered ambience. You want to inject detail and a whole world into this scene. All right, now first we got some kind of suburban, urban ambience, a little traffic, some birds, and we can use this as our base. Just grab that for now. We have another neighborhood sounds here. I like these birds more. I mean, we have a sink full of water, so let's add some water. One thing that I'm noticing with the bird sounds is they're taking too much of my auditory attention to whatever's outside this window, and it sounds like the window's wide open. We can fix that by adding a low pass effect, which is only gonna let the lower frequencies come through. So let's say maybe 3700 hertz is our cutoff, and I'll just copy this effect on my other bird sounds, and let's see how we're doing now. Nice. But we can do so much more. Notice how I just walk by the camera here and totally mess up the lighting. So if there's somebody moving in the kitchen, let's put some footsteps in there. Got some footsteps right here on hardwood floor. So now what we've done is we've created a character that's in this scene even though we don't actually see him. Let's throw in a sound effect that tells even more of a story, like this. We've introduced a second character. We got a baby in the mix. Let's put this baby in another room. I'll make it quieter. I'll add again a low pass, again a studio reverb. Great. Let's hear everything all together. Vibey, cinematic, mood, tone. All right, so that's technique number 1, layered ambience. And for this, I shot a half-baked little stupid scene, and I want to mix up kind of lighthearted music and really creepy, disturbing music. So I've downloaded a mix of both those types of tracks. All the sound effects and music that I'm using for these demos are from Audio. One of my favorite features unique to Audio is their link match AI, which lets you take any song that you're using, say as a temp track from Spotify, copy the song link, go up here to the link match AI, paste in the link, and in seconds, it will spit out a similar track that they have in their library. I mean, come on, tell me that doesn't sound like it came straight out of their Will Be Blood. And they just released a new search tool called Hans AI, which makes finding the right track easier than ever. With Hans AI, you just simply describe your scene from subtle emotional shifts to specific camera angles, and the AI will find the ideal track in seconds, allowing you to focus on what you do best, right? Telling the story. You can get 70% off your first year of Audio Pro and unlimited access to Hans AI, all the stock music and sound effects that you want, for only $59 when you use my link below and discount code standardstoryco at checkout. Thank you, Audio. Now back to one of my favorite ways to spice up any shot. First, let me show you what it looked like with no sound design. And here's what I came up with. I'm mostly relying on music here. I'll break down what I did after we watch it down. Ooh. Oh. So if we look at what I actually did, I did not go that detailed with the sound design, but I didn't just throw the music tracks down, right? I customized the music. First, I found the part of the track that I wanted. In this case, it was just the beginning of this track. Something lighthearted. But then I knew right around here, we have a story beat. I look down into the cup, I see something is wrong, okay? So now I want to start changing up the music track. What I decided to do was this. So I just warped the music down, and the way you would do that actually is just make a cut in the track where you want to, like right here, I made this cut. You would right click, go to edit clip in Adobe Audition, and then once you've got it in Audition, there's actually an effect up here. Go to effects, time and pitch, pitch bender process, and then just do turntable losing power. And that will do that effect for you. Just hit apply. And then when you go back into Premiere, you'll have that there. Under that, we have the horror soundtrack, which is this one. And I just found the part of the track I liked. And I really didn't do anything to this one. I just faded it in and out where it needed to come in and out. Like that. So I figured this shot is where we get back to the lighthearted music. I mean, I'm using these kind of trailer sound effects as like transitional sounds to get us from the horror music to the lighthearted music. And that looks like this. I did the exact same thing at the ending. Pitch bending this track down, and then underneath that the horror track comes in, and then it just ends with a hard cutoff. And once again I used some trailer sound effects, these impact hits from audio, stacked on top of each other because you want to layer that stuff just to make it a little more unique. And that's it. One of my favorite parts of sound design is that it gives you so many more opportunities for abstraction and unexpected creative choices in the edit than just anything else in filmmaking. And I tried to explore that with this little scene with this tropical Hawaiian duck. So here's what it looks like with no sound design, just production audio. Really nothing special there, but let's see if we can make it special with some abstract sound design, right? I just made a decision. This is going to be a scene about a guy who's getting ready to rob a bank or some kind of store. He's nervous. The duck and the thought of going to Hawaii gives him the courage that he needs, the resolve to go do it. To justify that story, I've got a couple things going on. I added the nervous breath in the beginning, but that's not unexpected. That's not abstract. Now we've got a little bit, right? So I've got the seagulls, I've got the ocean waves, I've got this synth pad sound right here. Just to make it sound like, oh, that's the dream, right? Instead of just doing the typical sound of driving, I decided to change all of those. So for example, instead of the sound of keys, I used the sound of coins. Instead of the sound of sticking the key into the ignition, I used the sound of a cash register. And instead of the sound of sticking the car into gear, I did a shotgun getting cocked and then firing. It's kind of telling a story. It's injecting energy. It's injecting creativity into an otherwise pretty boring scene. And if this was what that scene was about, then it's furthering the narrative through the sound design. What more can you ask for? So last but not least, let's talk about drones and really milking your reverb. And what is a drone, by the way? Well, here's a great example. It's almost like super loud room tone in weird, ethereal, surreal places, and it just kind of heightens the strangeness of a scene.
That's f***ing crazy, man.
So with no sound, it looks like this. There he is, just floating. Or she. We don't know. This one was fun to shoot, by the way. I used my computer monitor as the backdrop, so I just played stock footage of like the earth and then held the little duck in front of it. Let's take a look at this with sound design, huh? If we break it down, it's so simple. I put the two drones in pink. So we got this one. I intentionally made this very loud and overpowering. You can see how it's like so close to the top of the decibel meter there. And then when we cut, I intentionally made this one very quiet. We have some hydraulic sounds for suggesting an air door opening. I have another drone down here. That one was a little in your face, and I just used a little bit of it again to help sound like there's like an air pressure release happening. I've got a few other just random beeps and boops going on, but the big sound that's driving this and working with the drone sounds kind of synergistically is this sound. Just another human breath sound I pulled from audio. I think it plays so well with the drone. It's like a perfect contrast to it, where the drone is super ethereal, alien, far away, and the breath is just, you know, the most human sound, and it's kind of right in your ear. I mean, I'm just ripping off 2001: Space Odyssey, but hey, if it works, it works. So I hope if you take anything away from this video, let it be that no matter how good the stock music and sound effects that you're working with, you know, from audio, for example, $59 for a whole year. If you use the link in my description, what a deal. Those are not the end all be all, okay? Those are a great starting point, and you should throw those into your projects and then cut and screw those things, make them your own, add reverb and delay and change the speed and the pitch and layer these things up in your own way to make them your own. That's how you customize the soundscape of your film and inject your own creativity into the sound design. It takes some time, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it, the more enjoyable this process becomes. I mean, filming is so hard and stressful. When you actually get that footage home and you just have all the time in the world to just sit down and play, and there's no stakes, it's just like writing. It's like free fun. How are you not going to want to do that? Thanks so much. See y'all next time. Stopped recording and realized I forgot the 5th sound design technique that I promised you, so here it is. Number 5, add a breathy, pretentious, whispered voiceover to the footage.
I'm a long way from the pond back home, but I must find my flock, even if it takes me to the edge of the universe. I won't be a sitting duck anymore.